Will the market go for a new all-time high now, do you think? Or do you think that the war situation is going to crash markets, right? Very intense situation developing right now. And we can see Bitcoin here is developing itself into this triangle. Which way do you think it's going to break, up or down? Or does it kind of depend on the war situation? My personal preference is I think Bitcoin is likely to retest this area, which is around what, 104.5, 104.5. And I think chances are we'll have a breakdown, pullback, and then bounce up. So a wick down or breakdown into the 90s is not out of the question. Wall Street is very optimistic at the moment, right? Wall Street is basically saying we've discounted all the wars, like nothing's going to happen. Between Friday and today, like Friday, the war, Iran got bombed in historic fashion. All its military leaders got wiped out. And today, well, yesterday on Monday, it opened and was basically gapped up. And they're still trying to push for a new all-time high. So we've got lots of signals today to analyze to see if Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to be making some big moves or not. First of all, that's just, the way, look at this, the way the market is positioning itself right now, it's telling us what Wall Street's thinking. Wall Street is thinking that there's not going to be a major war scenario. They've already priced in a new, a quick defeat. What they're thinking is it will be a quick defeat on Iran. Israel's going to win easily. That's what they're thinking, and we're going for a new all-time high. I still tend to think that we will get the blow off top, right? If that oil channel, Hormuz Straits, gets blocked because of this war, then everything, then all bets are off. I still think we're going to get the all-time high and the blow off top, but I'm not as optimistic as Wall Street is in thinking that that Iran will be a pushover and there will be regime change and stocks just do this. At least I think it's too optimistic. Look, we all know Wall Street has a lot of people who are very pro-Israel, and because they're pro-Israel, so they can't see the other side of the argument. They can't see the other side of the story. They would just want the market to float up like this. I think there's every chance that, Iran's hitting back right now as we speak. The good thing is Nasdaq's gotten back inside this channel, and it'd be bad if it was to leave this channel and get back into this channel again. And then I think 18.5 is where we bounce, at worst 18.2. Now, look how many weeks is spent. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, trying to flirt with this rising channel. All of this, how much it pulls back or no pullback, really depends on the war. Like it used to depend on the trade situation, as I predicted very correctly. The trade war was basically Trump was gonna cave in. Now it depends on who's gonna cave in. Is it gonna be Iran or is it gonna be Israel? Well, people are thinking if anyone's gonna cave, it's gonna be Israel. But do we think an altcoin season is gonna start anytime soon if we do go for a blow off top? Before we answer that question, first let's answer the question of which crypto exchange does Pablo use? Well, Pablo uses exchange that is non-KYC. That means you don't need an ID to join. That means even the exchange can't see who you are. So of course, then Americans can use it. So I've made this deal with Bitunix for my followers: deposit and get a 20% bonus, right? That means if you deposit $200, get 40 USDT in futures trading bonus. Deposit $1,000, get 200 USDT in futures trading bonus, right? And just by trading, you can win a MacBook Pro, iPhone 16, Apple Watch, all sorts of great prizes. Even by just being in the top 20, you still get these great, wonderful prizes. Okay, so this is for a limited time only, finishes on 11th of June. And for people watching on YouTube right now, the link is in the description below. But if you're watching on any other platform, that's fine. Just go to my profile page, and then here is my Stan link, or link tree, as you guys like to call it, and it should be the first thing that pops up, because this is a great deal. Okay, let's get back to the markets. But remember, folks, this is only available on the Pablo link, only on the Pablo link. So first, we see that the funding rate is now a lot more calmer. We had a lot more greens before. Now we're still kind of greenish, but we see probably more black than green and a few reds. In that case, Bitcoin has the option to go literally both up and down. What I said before, remember, folks, what I said before was that I said Bitcoin is going to go squeeze up. In my last two videos, I said Bitcoin is going to squeeze up when it was around 103K area, and we got to 109K. What I said to my Discord was that I think the top resistance would be around 110K. We didn't quite get there. This is 110, and we got to 109. And now, because it's basically just inside this triangle, yeah, it's going to have to break one way or the other. Chances are, I think we do this. Now, the one of the other things to watch out for is not just, I think, look, Iran is trying to ask for a peace deal. They're trying to say, hey, look, you hit us and we've hit you back. We're kind of even now, and let's just do a peace deal. Whereas Israel, well, certainly Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, is basically saying, no, there's no peace deal. We're going for a regime change, meaning we're not going to stop until the current leadership in Iran is replaced. Okay, so it looks like Israel very much wants to push on, and Iran will have to hit them back. Iran has two options: hit them back, right, or basically just cave and surrender. Now, as long as these wars can go on, and as long as the Hormuz Strait does not get closed, that means 20% of the world's oil supply does not get choked off, then I do think we will keep on seeing markets stay strong. It may not break new all-time highs just yet, but it can stay strong, as in we're not going to see a 10-20% pullback. But there's a chance that Israel is already saying they're going to go ahead and try for a regime change. That means US is already helping them, but indirectly, just with fueling jets, like when you refuel in the sky for the Israeli fighter jets. But if US takes a more direct route into war, they may not declare war. They might do they may not need a vote through Congress like what Bush did, war of the coalition, whatever. Then I think if that happened, if US got involved directly, markets would drop on panic. SP 500 and NASDAQ will certainly drop on panic initially, but usually it bounces up a few days, few weeks later and goes up. But the initial reaction from Bitcoin would also be a drop in that case if US was to declare war or go into a de facto war with Iran without declaring war. If US gets seriously involved, stocks should drop as a knee-jerk reaction, and Bitcoin will drop as the knee-jerk reaction. But that does not mean that it won't bounce back. Usually Bitcoin bounces back. Usually the stock market bounces back, and therefore the Bitcoin bounces back as well. Let's have a look at Bitcoin net position change. Okay, so this was this is something very significant. It's the short-term holders' net position change, right? So basically, for the short-term holders, they're usually the guys who got it wrong. It's the guys who hold 3, 4, 5, 6 years who make the big money in Bitcoin. So we can see that they usually these guys usually time it quite wrong. Like these big spikes, like buying when Bitcoin's around 30K, right? And major selling when Bitcoin was at 30K. So they only caught a small rise here, and then sold, right, when it was around here, and but they do make some good calls. Like they bought the bottom here, I mean, look, the biggest buying once again is when we're halfway, like almost 3/4 away throughout the bull run here. And so like this spike up was when Bitcoin's around 100K. So that's why I think we could still get a run up to like mid 100s, like say 140, 150, 160. And then basically you will see, you see they're still buying, they're still green, just not that green. They're still green near the peaks. See, when Bitcoin tops, they're still buying. When Bitcoin tops, they're still buying, right? So when they dump, it's usually a very good indication of a bottom. Like when they dumped here, right? That was the 30K bottom, right? Like when they dumped here and here, this was 20K Bitcoin, this was 15K Bitcoin. So like when they dumped here, this was Bitcoin at 49K. And I used this chart a few weeks ago in April when I pointed out to this small dump here. When they dumped here, I said, look, we're now in the mid 70s. I think we should get a big bounce to above 100 at least. And with any luck, we can still get a blow off top. That was when they were dumping here. Now they're dumping even more. There's even more fear. So so imagine if Bitcoin goes to like 102K or even goes into the 90s. We're going to see major dump by these short-term guys. And that's actually the buy the dip signal for markets to go up. So I do think this is looking good because we're seeing a lot of fear from the short-term holders. Yeah. So another indicator we can look at is what's happening on Ethereum, and this is also very encouraging because this shows us where the altcoin season is coming from. For altcoin season to run, you really need Ethereum to do well. And look at this. This is the net position change of whales, not the short-term holders who are not the whales, who are usually the shrimps and the small fish, but this is the whales. The whales on Ethereum, look what they're doing. They're basically, they have done a lot of buying. This is like nearly, 18 million in 1 or 2 days, 18 million worth of Ethereum. The black is Ethereum price. This is them buying, their net position change. Their net buying 18 million, something like this big spike here. And that's the biggest spike for ETH since like around here. That was in 2017, 2018. So this is the biggest change in the last 7 or 8 years, at least 6 years, right? The biggest buy from whales in the last 6 or 7 years. Why are the whales buying? Why are the whales doing this? Well, one reason why I think is because Trump just announced that he's going to start his own Bitcoin ETF and Ethereum ETF. He's applied to the SEC already. And what does that mean? Well, that means basically Trump is going to get approved because, I mean, hey, he installed the guy who runs the SEC. So basically, look, there wasn't this much whale buying even when Ethereum was down at like the down here, right? Even down here. And there wasn't even this much ETH buying when ETH was at $800. This is when ETH was at $50, $100. There wasn't this much buying. This much buying only happened when ETH was during its very first bull market, like when it was down near $10 and $7, there was this much buying, and also the peak when it was hit $1,000 during its 2018 peak. So see here we can see that Trump is asking the SEC to approve his Bitcoin Ethereum ETF, and of course he's going to approve. It's going to get approved. But this Ethereum ETF is going to be different. It's going to be different from all the other ones because all the other ones were approved during Biden's time, and they did not have staking yields. This one will have staking yields. So to Wall Street, that's like 2.5% yield. That's like if you buy an oil company, like Warren Buffett's oil company, Occidental Petroleum, doesn't even have this much dividends or yields, right? So to the Wall Street crowd, they're going to look at Ethereum and think, oh, this is a technology company, this is a technology stock or technology ETF, but it's also going to generate 2.5% yield. That's very good. That's better than buying an oil company. Oil company is not a tech company. It's not going to grow. It's not going to 10x, 20x, right? But Ethereum could, right? There's lots of potential, I say. May not happen, but potential for Ethereum. And you're also getting paid 2.5% interest or dividend while you wait. So that's very bullish for Ethereum. And that's why I think this is happening with the ETH whales buying. As I said, this sort of buying action, this much ETH buying, hasn't happened since ETH was around here. That was the ETH first bull run when it went to $1,000, or when it was like around here, when it was around $5 and $10, and then ran to $1,000. So this was incredible for the price of ETH. Okay. Oh, and also this is, look, this orange line, have a look at this orange line. Orange line is ETH supply held by addresses with balance of more than 1,000 ETH, right? The whales up to 50,000, up to 10,000 ETH. Between 1,000 to 10,000 ETH, they've just been dumping, right, through since 2020. They dumped into the 2021 bull run, and they dumped even more. But this is the first time, look, since end of 2024, this is the first time they started buying, and they're really buying it right now. When in the last few days, and you can see ETH is making a bull flag right here, a bull flag. ETH has a lot of upside to come. So and I think the Ethereum ecosystem should do pretty well as well. Not financial advice, just sharing my own thoughts. Okay, thank you guys for your time. Let's catch you next episode.